Yeah, good evening. I'm very happy to introduce Go Hasegawa, which I personally, in my view, I think is one of the most, how do you call it, not outstanding, because his work is quite play with familiarity of architecture, so I wouldn't call it outstanding or amazing architecture, but in my view, it's really, something really stands out in contemporary architecture, especially housing scales and so forth. There's lots of generation of young architects in Tokyo which actually explore certain or experiment with certain living spaces. But I think Go Hasegawa's work really stands out somehow, then very encouraging. So I think this today's entitled Amplitude of Experience of Space, architectural space, is actually playfully challenging some familiarity or how to make something familiar unfamiliar, playing with scale, sense of time, sense of gravity. And I think that kind of playfulness, I think, triggers imaginations among lots of architects, I think. So it would be really grateful for students, audience, as well as practicing architects in London, I think. Yeah. Go Hasegawa, born in Saitama in Tokyo, and he studied in Tokyo Institute of Technology. After working for Taira Nishizawa for 2 years, he established his own practice, Go Hasegawa and Associates, in 2005. And he taught in many schools of architecture, not only in Japan, but across Europe and States, namely, sorry, I have to read this because there's so many. Yeah. Tokyo Institute of Technology, Tokyo University of Science, Hosei University, visiting professor in Oslo School of Architecture in Norway, Academy of Architecture in Mendrisio in Switzerland, UCLA, Los Angeles, and GSD in Harvard, USA. Many publications you would say as you comes in, but one of the memorable monograph has been recently published in A+U, where Mr. Yoshida, the publisher, is kindly attending this lecture. And other one, I remember there was amazing catalog about his work in TOTO Gallery Ma in Tokyo, which is also catalogs provided in here. So, yeah. That's my big cover, but I think I wouldn't like to spoil his work, so I would like to please join me to welcoming Mr. Go Hasegawa. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you, Mr. Yoshida, for this opportunity to make a lecture in such a great place. I'm so honored to come here. Thank you very much for coming. I'm Go. Hello. Okay, so I will start. The title is something strange. Amplitude in experience. It might be something strange for you, but I will explain in the beginning. Firstly, I will show one project. This is a weekend house near Tokyo, or 3 hours by car. This area named Karuiza has a lot of rain, so almost every weekend house has a sort of pilot disc, which has 1 meter or 1.5 meters high. And these has, they use it for the storage or sometimes garage or space for machine, something like that. Okay, so in the beginning, I decided to use this pilotis as a common language in this area. All the time, in my project, I focus on something architectural element like pilotis, roof, balcony, and so on. I really like to play with such architectural elements. In a way, yeah. So I really focus on the pilotis in this project. And of course, it was not simple, but in the end, I used this action to the client. Okay, let's make a very high pilotis in the forest. It has 6.5 meters height. It's really high as a pilotis for the house. And the upper floor is very tight. It's very compact, intimate. It's only 1.9 meters height at the lowest level until the bottom of the beam. And the first floor is made with steel, with brace. And the upper floor is very low cost, traditional Japanese construction by timber. It's very simple construction. And this is 6.5 meters height. And actually, this is the most important dimension in this project. First floor is, I call it piazza in the forest. So it's a kind of a public space, even if it's a private house. Just a semi-outdoor space. And the upper floor is timber construction, terrace, dining space, and the bedroom and the bathroom. It's very compact. But it has a very big window to every direction. So even if it's very compact space, they can enjoy the life with nature, or also in upper floor. This is built in a forest. Yes, this image is maybe the most easy to understand for me. 6.5. I already mentioned 6.5 5 times in a lecture. But yes, when I studied with model, I always develop the project with models. I compare with the various dimension, various proportion, and the proportion is for me maybe the most fundamental things in a process. But proportion is not for the beauty, not for the order. Proportion for a sort of new relation. This is very something the core of my project. What is a new relation? When I see the pilotis which is 5 meters height, it's really still the architecture, space, architecture. And I see also 7.5 meters height. I noticed this space is start melting in forest, melting in the nature. So for me, this 6.5 is a kind of in-between dimension, in-between proportion, which is still architecture, but it's at the same time, it's nature. Last year, I visited here, and I stand on this pilotis space, and I sit on the bench, on this bench, and I noticed when I sit on the bench, I really cannot feel the ceiling above, and I stand up. Suddenly, I feel the space under the pilotis space. It means it's this kind of sensitive height. It's such a small changing of the body would make always our body is playing with this relationship between nature and architecture. Our floor is made by concrete and of course ceiling. This is the beam by timber, and the wall is made by existing natural green. So I recognize it as a room in a forest. For me, this beam is, I struggle a lot in this detail between steel and timber. Somehow, yeah, I know a lot of master of architecture, which is the pilotis, like Le Corbusier or Kenzo Tange, but I know this is such a macho purity building doesn't fit in such a nature. It's too monumental. And somehow I need to find out the nice relation with branch, small branch, and so on. So in a way, I need to find out the good proportion, good relation between the timber and the nature. So you are coming up just beside the tree like this, and the height of this space. So this is a private the project for private client, but somehow it has a sort of a public feeling in house. In upper floor, thanks to this huge window to the direction, living space looks something attacking to the nature like this. So you don't feel actually it's a very intimate space, but at the same time, always you can also forget the architecture. From the dining space to the terrace, or I put the glass table for the dining. Also, I put the glass floor underneath, so you can check the children playing on the purity space. So this is from the dining table and from the hammock. I like this sound of the step of the stairs, the stairway in the forest. You know, so you wake up in the morning, you put the hammock between the stair column, and you prepare the brunch with a friend, drink even in the morning, and have a nap on the hammock. So, but I think, yeah, I know this is not a normal house, but still it has a commonality with local building, the normal building in this area with the purities. So what I did is just to change the proportion of normal purity building, I would say. So the architectural element and the proportion, and as you noticed, for me, material is really important. And I would explain here now about the amplitude. For me, proportion, architectural element, and the material is really fundamental in a process. And all the time, the proportion is not for, as I explained, not for beauty or order, but something new relationship between, in this case, architecture and nature, or ground floor and upper floor, and so on. So always relationship between the space is organized by a certain proportion, and it takes a time to find this proportion. And yes, I wanna open my building to the newness and the oldness. And the architectural element like roof or balcony, window, it's really nice because it's filled with wisdom of human beings, a lot of knowledge inside. And I don't know who started the pillars. I don't know who started the balcony,
but it's a kind of open resource of architecture. And also I believe we can still develop, we can still find out a new way of using such a element. I love to open to opposite direction, oldness and newness in the architectural element. This is really exciting things. Also, material is, for me, it's for the gravity. I'm not a magician, I'm not a god, so I cannot erase the gravity itself. But I know the space can have power to shift the sense of gravity. As you explained in about the ceiling of this place, it's really totally different from the pilotis of Le Corbusier, no? I don't saying this which is better, but in a way, somehow it's the a sense of gravity can be shift in a way of using material. Also, the proportion of each element, like a beam. So, yeah, always relation or time of architecture or gravity is trying to shift, trying to expand, trying to find out the new amplitude in every project. This is always I'm struggled in every project, in any program. Okay, so I would show the maybe chronologically, basically. This is a small house for my sister. And she worried when I started my office because I have no project. So she asked me to design her house. She is very good. She's a teacher of elementary school, and she asked me to design the study room. It's very small dream, no? She just need the study room for prepare something, stuff for the, I don't know, the sheet for the class, for the student, and so on. She's a good teacher. So, but I know, of course, I know her family well. So somehow I wanted to start from her request, the study desk, study room. And what I propose is to make look. This is a plan. I put the big table in the middle of the house. This has a 4 meter by 4 meter. It's really big as a table, as a desk for to work. It might be too big. And, but this table is surrounded by the study room and 2 kids' room. So from her desk, in opposite side of the table, the son is working or playing. But at the same time, they are staying in each private room. This table room has a void here, so this is a void. So living room and the upper floor has an O shape. They can run around. And section, the table room has a void, also the glass on the top. So it looks like a courtyard. So this space is kind of a combination of courtyard and monster of a table. From her desk and on the right hand, you can see the young son, left hand, older son. But they are now staying in their room. They share this huge table. And here, actually, here's a skylight on the top, but it looks like an outside courtyard space. So as if now we see the external wall rather than inside. And you can see the big window and the rear window and over there. So you can look up to the sky diagonally. From son's room is very normal size, like 12 square meter, 1.2 meters high. It's very normal room as a kid's room. But when you come close to this chair, immediately you can connect the father in upper floor or your brother in opposite side of the table. From the side, it looks like this or like this. So they always share this huge table. This is a living room on the upper floor. So, yeah, for example, he is playing Lego in his room, but when he feels loneliness, yeah, it's easy. He just come here, and immediately he can connect to somebody, or suddenly it looks like outside, like a courtyard. So, but there's no wall. Actually, here's a door, but basically they opened as it is. So actually, there's no boundary wall, just a gradation of the sort of relationship. He's very wild. House is a very small house in Tokyo. Site plot, the plot is only 45 square meter. It's really high density in the middle of Tokyo, named Gotanda. This is the house on the corner. Somehow you can see it. It's really small. And as you see, this area is various size of building. Actually, this is office for taxi driver. This is a factory of sweets. And here's a elementary school. And over there, huge supermarket. And so on. This area is, we call it the semi-industrial area. It means you can build anything in Tokyo. So the program size, there is a height regulation, but in a way, various type of is existing here. But we still have a sort of common rule in Tokyo. Look, as you see, there's a gap between the building. Gap is something fascinating things in Tokyo. All the time, we need to keep a distance from the boundary line, at least 50 centimeters. It means when we build all the time, we create the gap between the building around 1 meter. So, yeah, of course, the building itself is a purpose, the production. But as a sub-production, all the time, always, the gap is created. Okay, this is a small site, so somehow I focus on this gap because somehow I want to expand the boundary line, and also I try to find the new image of life in Tokyo. Look at this ugly landscape, but this is Tokyo. Various type on the size, and look at this ugly decoration, but this is Tokyo. Various type, various size of building is gathering. This is a house in Gotanda. Yes, you look at the TOC, super huge supermarket over there. Anyway, what I did is a very simple thing. This building made by concrete, it has 9 meters length and 3.6 meters wide and 10 meters height. made by concrete. And this silver part is actually the door. So you can open like this. So this is wife. She opens the entrance door. So when it's opened completely, this building is separated in two. Right hand is a 2-story building. Left hand is 4 stories. And between them, actually, here's a skylight on the top. So when it's closed, it's really, one building. But in a nice season like now, on a sunny day, they can open completely, and it looks like a gap inside my building. This is one of the concepts. So section, I call it hall. So it's 1.2 meters width and 10 meters height. So in ways, width is a human scale and height is a building scale. It's a kind of combination in one space. Yeah, but this is a sort of one of the topic I really like, because we always say I'm teaching in school, and all the time I say, no, this is not the human scale. It's not familiar for human size or something. We easily say human scale, urban scale, building scale, and so on. But sometimes also like gap, it's difficult to say which type the gap is. Gap is a very human size like this, but at the same time, it's really urban scale. It can be. So I really like this kind of space which can have various character in itself. This is maybe what I struggled in this project. And what I did in plan, all the time I develop my project in a section, but this is the exception. In this project, I only did, the position of a spiral stairway is important. I placed this spiral stairway a little bit outside of this wall, like a hip. It's a little bit coming out to the gap between the neighbors. So when you come up from living room to the dining room like this, your body is coming out gap between the building. And you come up more, and your body is the gap inside your building. So all the time, in the experience of the spiral stairway, it's a gap and outside and gap and inside in turns. This is important. Let's enter. There's a door which is open, spiral stairway. It's a little bit coming out to the neighbor. This is a window of neighbors. So this is a study room of the wife of my client, and the tapestry on the opposite side of the gap. So it looks as if the neighbor's building. Actually, this is a neighbor's window, so it has a strange sense of distance. The same sense of distance between them. Okay, so this is a study room, and 1, 2, 3, 4 step living room. So we call it the skip floor type. But what is special in this house is the difference from the normal skip floor type is always between 2 rooms. There is an experience of the city. All the time you feel the urban scale between the room. So you can look the wife washing the dishes, and flower put on the opposite side of the gap. And when you come up this spiral stairway, suddenly your body is coming out like this, the gap between the neighbors. So now it's still you are inside. As a sense, your body is totally spread through this gap between the building. And this is a bus station 200 meters away. Suddenly, you can catch this urban scale, even if inside. So, dining space. So, something like this all the time, your body is shrink and expand between room and the gap. And it's very difficult to be inside. You don't have to feel the boundary line or even outline of the building. Always a sense your body is expanding to outside. This is, I think, one of the possibility in Tokyo. He disappeared and appeared. Next is a rental apartment building in Tokyo. This area in Nerima. Nerima is residential area in the center of Tokyo. It's 20 minutes by metro from the Shinjuku. So it's a really convenient place for workers. And actually, this is a main street in this area. And as you see already, there's a lot of apartment building beside this street. This is a concrete building I designed. Client is a kind of a smart guy. He already knows a lot of empty space in this area. So, yeah, he knows it's very bad to build the normal type of apartment. That's why he asked me to design. So something different thing from others. This is one thing he asked me. And the second thing is to make a variation between the apartment because this area is really convenient for the worker because it's 30 minutes from this apartment to the Shinjuku. It's really nice. But at the same time, the 5 university near here, so he expected some student can live here. So but it's a bit strange to prepare only one type for workers and the student. So somehow he imagined to have at least 2 or 4 variation between the apartment. I think it's a really nice client to make something different apartment and at the same time variation between the unit, no? But so I started. But in 2 days I got bored because this is a rental apartment, so I cannot talk with the resident. So it's something boring to just making a game without client, without resident, the conversation or request from the resident. But somehow I need to make a variation. It's a kind of contradiction. I need to make a variation, but I cannot meet with him. No? So no reason to make a difference. It's a very, very tough for me. And also it's a bit boring to make just a Tetris-like game between the unit. And I visited the site again and looked such a normal apartment in Tokyo. Actually, when I was a student, I lived in such a apartment. In north side, there's a common balcony, common corridor and a door, and very small unit bathroom, very Tokyo size, super tiny. And small room, Tokyo size, very small room. And the south side, mainly towards the street, there's a balcony. And in the regulation in Japan, we need to keep the two-way for escape. So this wall between the apartment can be broken when something happens, like a fire or something. So it works for the escape route as well. So in the end, also in balcony all the time they put machine of hot water or machine for air conditioner. Sometimes some resident puts garbage or old bicycle in balcony. So in the end, balcony is not a space for the life. It's just something useful space to put something. And it's very bad. And also the bad thing is as a result, this kind of dead balcony would make a facade towards the street. You know, this balcony which is a machine and the garbage make a facade of a cityscape of Tokyo. This is a reality in Tokyo now. And I really don't like it. And I think this is because of architects have never tried the balcony issue in Tokyo. And yes, I had a issue, the request from the client. And I proposed, in the end, I proposed this idea. Let's make a variation with various balcony instead of. Let's make a tall balcony or long balcony or L-shaped balcony. So, yeah, in the end, the unit itself has a sort of variation, but rather than the plan or the shape of a room, for me, it's really important to make a character from outside, from the garden for each unit. Now I call it garden, so it's terrace. This is a private terrace for him. It has three, this is a triplex type, maisonette type. Or this is, I changed just the proportion. Normally we put here the balcony, but I changed the proportion and put like this. Or, yeah, in this case, I covered this space with balcony. This is my office. It's very small, but even if the space is small, we continue to make a lot of models, so we don't have a space for us anymore. All the time we check the idea with the model. I don't like to decide. It's a very big problem as an architect, but I like to compare. Like I explained in the Pilotino Forest, I compare with various height. I compare with the proportion of the terrace. And little by little, it's really important to collect the subtle notice, little notice in the process rather than clear, nice idea. Idea is sometimes it's dangerous because we believe too much. And yeah, every day we think, this idea is fantastic. This is the final idea or something like that. But the next day we notice, this is the best. No? Always our idea is changing, but the model itself is, of course, the model is an object, but it's a really nice tool to be objective to the project. I believe too much sometimes my idea. My staff, my collaborator believe too much me. I think it's not good. We need a sort of collaborator which can always be objective to the project in order to find out the really possibility of that project. So model is really important partner in my project. And this is a Nerima apartment. It's a bit complicated, so I will show 4 types. First type is L-shaped terrace. So this is a common corridor. When you open this entrance door, it's not the room, but terrace, like this. It's not the room when you open, like this. And this is a common corridor. When you open door, there is a second door. This is real door in order to enter the room. So this is semi-outdoor space. And in the end, which is there's a bathroom at the end. So inside, you can feel really protected with this L-shaped terrace, covered with terrace, like a buffer zone between inside and outside, or private and public. So you don't have to put the curtain at the window. There's a sort of sense of distance between them, like this. Like this. Or long terrace type, as I explained. Normally we put here super tiny balcony, but I changed the position and the proportion, and from the dining space, from the bedroom, from the bathroom, all the time the long one balcony is just beside on you, like this. So large amount of sunlight and wind comes in. And the courtyard terrace type, this is a kind of combination of bathroom and terrace, but which divides 2-room dining space and the living space. From the kitchen, you can see the bedroom opposite side of the terrace, like this. So as like house in Gotanda, there's a outside space, courtyard, 2-room. So gap inside the one apartment unit. And the last one is tall terrace type. It's very tiny, like 7 square meter, but it's really high, like this. It is high. So first floor is a dining space with a working desk. He's working here, like Soho. He is here, this unit. It's 3 stories, 10 square meter, 10, 10. So in total, 30 square meter as an inside. On second floor, I put the bathtub and the toilet on the floor directly, so you can enjoy bath time just beside the terrace. And the top floor is the bedroom, and when you wake up in the morning, you can look down to the street like this, through your terrace and the garden and the street. Diagonal relation. So yeah, something like this. I prepare the various type of proportion in balcony, each balcony, for 24 units. So when you wake up in the morning and you prepare the breakfast, and you can look up to the sky, or you can look down to the street. The proportion give a sort of dynamic relation between inside and outside. It's totally different from normal balcony. So proportion would make a sort of variation to the relationship between private and public. Also, it's really important to make this facade. This is a window, and this is a hall, which we forget to put the window. In a way, this is, now you understand, yes, this is a tall balcony Go Hasegawa designed. But actually for him, for her, I don't know, it's difficult how it's connected. Perhaps this hall, this room, this outer space can belong to here, or he is there, or he is where, or so even if this terrace open literally to outside, completely to outside, he still keep a sort of anonymity as a resident. So I think it's a kind of a nice contradiction. It's really open, but from outside, very semi-transparent. Yes. One more small house. It's also in the residential area in Tokyo, and this area has a strict regulation of the height and the size. So actually, this roof shape, gable roof, is the same, almost the same height, same footprint with neighbors. Almost totally the same. And what I did in two things, in a section again, I like section very much. And one thing is to make a very high living room on the ground floor, 4 meters high. This is very high in a Japanese house. So upper floor, because this outline of the building is defined by the regulation. So upper floor is almost like an attic space. It has a 1.2 meters high, really like attic space. It's very intimate. And the second thing I did in this section is to make a very, very transparent floor, like this, like a deck. So actually, we give a gap between the timber, between the beam. So because I put the skylight on the top, sunlight is coming down, coming into the living room on the ground floor, or sunlight and the wind is coming through between them. This is 2 by 3. You know the 2 by 4 system, which is maybe very familiar with in the States. But we have this 2 by 3. It's 38 millimeter by 54 millimeter. It's like this. So it's not the timber for structure. They use it for the furniture or small things. But in collaboration with Ono, I always collaborate with the structural engineer, and Ono, he's a very excellent guy. And I think one of the characteristics in Japan, contemporary architecture in Japan, is collaboration with the structural engineer. And I heard, I was teaching in GSD, and I talked with the architect in the States. And in the States, it's like this. When we finish the design, we give this to the structural engineer, and they calculate and some feedback. But in a way, it's totally separated. And the design and the structural engineering is really separated. They are complained about it. But in Japan, fortunately, we have a sort of culture or custom to collaborate really equally. So when I designed in a basic design, so almost in the beginning, just a concept, I started to talk with him how to build, how to deal with this detail and pitch and the detail of this bolt and joint. Really, in the beginning, we already started such small things and big things at the same time. It's really important to deal with construction for me. And yes, so this is a beam. Maybe nobody uses it as a structure. Plan is always simple. Ground floor is just only living room, and upper floor, this is a stairway, and I call it the study room, which has a louver floor, like a deck, and bedroom, a bathroom, and 2 bedroom, and the balcony on the south side. We made a mock-up in order to check the gap between the timber. In the end, the gap was 3 centimeters. And I used, why I made such a building, because my client asked me to make a wood house, something wood. They lived in a normal apartment made by concrete, and they had a dream to live in space with wood. So I try to emphasize this request, and also exterior should be wood, but something new way. And this is the Setagaya area in Tokyo. It's a lot of rich people is living there. Nice area, big park. So actually, around here there's a lot of nice apartment for rich guy, which has stone and brick and so on. So somehow, even if it's a small house, I wanted to struggle with, not a fight, but to be equal as a existence with such a rich building. And we made a big research, and in the end, we could find out this. This is eucalyptus. The eucalyptus is a tree for koala in Australia, and actually we imported from Australia. In Australia, the National Railway Company, they use this eucalyptus on the rail, under the rail. It's super strong, very heavy, and as you see, it looks like a brick or a stone rather than wood. I like this double sense. Actually, this is wood, but at the same time, it looks very heavy and almost like a stone. And this is just after completion, so it's still brown, but now it's the same color with this stone. the same height with the neighbors. Living room on ground floor, it's really like a public space as a feeling. So I put the stone on the floor and put the huge window towards the opposite side of the street. You can notice floor, special floor. They like eaves. Not bad. And and this height was also very important. This was 1.65. This height is kind of we decided in a construction site in the end that this street in front is very, a lot of people is walking because it's connected to the park, big park. So with dog and the old man and people is walking every minute. But at the same time, he wants to see the prom garden opposite side. So it's a kind of contradiction. Contradiction give a quality all the time. And this height is, for him, he cannot see inside, and for him, it's really okay height to see the prom garden like this. It's easy to choose the close or open, but the dimension can deal with this kind of contradiction, like privacy and openness. So on stairway, there's a skylight on the top. This is second floor. From the upper floor, they have to take care of the iPhone. From the upper floor, yeah, she's reading something. And actually, you might notice here is a street. So even in attic space, very private space, you feel the passenger is walking or car is running underneath. It's a nice combination of private and public. The private space itself is just size of bedroom, like a nest. Yeah, this is also the design of gravity. Outside it looks really heavy, like a stone, but the ceiling, you see super light like paper. It's almost start to melting. So somehow I made the amplitude of the heaviness, but both of them is timber. Okay, I have to show some recent project, some going on in abroad. One is a Taipei project in Taiwan. Actually, this is not new as a building, but a renovation project. Shinkenchiku Market is a second concrete building in Taiwan, which is built in 1947. And as you see, it looks like White U by Toyo Ito, but it's not a joke. This is the shape of Shinkenchiku Market. It's a strange building in a way. And it's surrounded by the one-story building. And it's, yeah, as you can imagine, it's very monumental building. It's a public building for market. And this is the situation now. After, 60 years later, it's surrounded by the concrete building, so like apartment, 4 or 5 stories building. And it's not used for a long time anymore. It's totally dead, but the second concrete building, so it's a historical building. It's protected by Taipei city government. And they asked me to design the interior design for sharing office for young people, because it's a very only old people is living here in this area. So somehow Taipei city tried to vitalize with this new program, their strategy. But for me, only interior design was not enough when I visited. So somehow I needed the new idea. And also, I like the Asian city very much. Look, such a illegal extension on the top. Almost every building has an illegal roof on the top. It's made by concrete, but everybody has this steel corrugate roof on the top. They extension floor. It's really nice. I like it very much. But it's not allowed anymore now. This is maybe 2 years ago, and they just cleaned up. But the situation, so this is also illegal extension by local people. And inside it's, because at the time there's no machine, so no ventilation machine. So in order to, here they sell the meat or fish or vegetable, many stuff. So they need natural ventilation. So there's a lot of window like this. This is original booth they used. So on the top of this counter, they arranged the meat or another stuff. Also, there's a ventilation on the top, like this. It's a 10 ventilation. But as you see, it's almost hidden. It's surrounded by the buildings. Like this, it's totally hidden. This is a market next to it. Also, they had a problem of the water. So after the typhoon, all the time, water is coming in, especially around this ventilation hole. So they asked me to make a new waterproof on the roof. So it's there's some problem when it rains. So I proposed to make. I found this ventilation hole. It was 60 centimeters diameter. So I put the roof above this roof, and I insert stick like this, because this is a historical building, and we cannot put any weight on this roof because it's a very old concrete building. It's very dangerous as well. But they say it's okay to put something on this ground floor because it's enough, strong. So I decided to put this huge, massive timber column to every hole of this existing ventilation hole. Also, there's a steel beam here, so it's like this, the structure. So they can get the extension of the new floor on the top, but we don't have to put any weight on this existing structure. And I put the membrane on the top. So yeah, they are so happy to have a double surface with this idea. Also, they asked me to put the public toilet. So I placed this moon-shaped public toilet. So this thing, there's an old, dirty public toilet. So I redesigned this in order to make, because this is very strange anymore as a shape. So somehow I try to make it equal to every direction with this symmetrical plan. And here is a sharing office on the ground floor, and the atelier for artists, and some gallery and workshop space on the upper floor. So while the timber, wood column separate some program inside. Also, it's a nice relation to the illegal roof in the surroundings. This is not illegal, of course, but it's really nice to have a conversation between local buildings. And this is another project I'm doing in Shanghai, in China. Sort of a public rest space in the park. As you know, Shanghai is a very crazy city which has a lot of skyscraper, like this. And they still built a lot of skyscraper and a little bit outside of Shanghai. My site is in front of South Shanghai Station, and they are making one of the long park in that area. It has 5 kilometers in total. And I was asked to design a sort of gazebo in park. But I need to say the skyscraper here is very ugly. It's really very normal, banal skyscraper for office and apartment building. And it was a bit difficult to start the design. But on the other hand, I really like the public space in China. They enjoy the public space very much. It's totally different from Japan. They do Tai Chi in the morning. It's cool. So I made a research of the typology in China, and I found this qing. This is a Chinese traditional gazebo in a public garden. Of course, for the rich guy, which is a big garden, he put several pavilions in a park. And they invite the guests and make a tea time. And all the time it's a circle shape. Okay, so it might be a sort of hint to start. Let's make a contemporary thing in this area, and make a big roof. Yeah, it's surrounded by the my site. This is a site. It's a bit strange. It's an I shape, like I shape, and I put this circle in the middle. Look, this skyscraper, and they are walking and living in here or there. And I think they lost something. They are surrounded only by vertical things. So I propose to make a really horizontal space. My building. It's really horizontal. It's really connected to the ground. And also, I decided not to use any vertical element like column or wall and so on. So I make at first, it's surrounded by the garden, the natural garden I also designed. And I make at first a little hill, which is 3 meters height. And I put the huge roof on the top of the hill directly without any column. But of course, there is a structure inside. So somehow I try to hide this structural element. And this is very big, which is 34.5 meters diameter. So in the end, the roof itself, it's 1,000 square meters. It's big. It's a steel structure, it's a cantilever. It's a structural drawing. This is a study of the height of the proportion of the hill, like this, and also the portion of the top of the hill is very important. How to kiss to the ceiling. So we made a lot of model in order to find nice touching, nice kissing to the roof. This is a model. So from here, they don't have to see any skyscraper, only horizontal landscape. It's really connected to the ground. The timber with gloss paint in order to reflect the green surroundings, like this. So they can sleep on the hill, or in a flat part, they do the Tai Chi in the morning. Very horizontal. It would be finished in this year or next year. And this is the last slide to show today in a project in Italy, the first project in Europe. Yesterday I got an email. You know, Italy is very difficult to build and very slow. But in the end, yesterday I got an email and they start the construction in the next week, and it will be finished in the middle of August. I hope. And Guastalla is a Renaissance city near Mantova, near Reggio Emilia. It's a really nice place, very beautiful, very small city. And they asked me to make a new chapel in a public cemetery. There is a sponsor. He's a guy of the company on marble company in Italy, based in Vicenza. And he has a request, one request made by only marble. It's good, no? For Japanese, it's amazing to make a building only by marble. But he says, but new way. It's good, no? So somehow, this is very simple. The building made by marble in a new way. And the city mayor gave me one copy of the public cemetery. It's surrounded by the portico like this. And I had a big discussion with the guy, and in the end, I choose this Estremoz. This is a Portuguese marble, but actually it's 500 million years ago as a marble. It's very old. But perhaps if we can find a new way of using this super old material, it might be something nice. It's very old, but something new at the same time. And we started to make to find some image reference of the space with stone or marble, like a cave. Or I like this kind of window. For me, this is one of the image of window in Europe. I know you don't have such things anymore, but I think this is this has a lot of things. It's a sort of set of window, bench, and niche. I call it set beside the window. And it might be one of the hint in this project, because city mayor asked me to prepare some bench, because ceremony in cemetery is always well, maybe 80% of the people is old people, so they need to have a less space, like a bench. So yeah, okay, so bench, but only bench is not something new as a project. So I need to make a sort of story like this. Or especially in the facade of church, we can find this kind of strange niche of half board, half dome with a statue. It was also one of the references in this project because it's surrounded by the port. It's a repetition of arch. So this niche with a statue was one of the hints. And yeah, he gave me 3 blocks of that marble, and somehow I try to find the most efficient way of cutting. The plan in the end. We made this chapel only by wall, without roof. And each unit, it has 11 units, but each unit has 30 centimeters thickness. But they dig. I asked to dig to this each marble, and the thinnest part is only 1 centimeter. So each hole would work for the bench or niche, and on the back they have a sort of window because it's enough thin to the sunlight coming through. I made a copy of the proportion of existing portico, the repetition of arch, and this is the thinnest part. So this is, let's say, window, and every unit has a different proportion, size of the thinnest part. So I imagined to have various condition of light. I was so impressed the precision of marble factory in Italy. They are so precise, like carpenter in Japan. They are so precise. I felt a long history in their technique, like this. So precise. And in the end, this is some piece I checked in a factory. And at first, we built it in a fair in Verona in last autumn. And yeah, light is coming through. From outside, it looks like just a massive marble. But in inside, 12 bench or niche is a window. So yeah, this is a bench. You can sit. During the ceremony, you can have a rest. So yeah, it's inside without the roof. So depending on the moving of the sunlight, every hour, the brightest part is changing through the day, from the morning to the evening. This is my hand. Okay, you can see more image and reference in my monograph. You can find it in after this lecture. Okay, thank you. That's it.
I think we can take a few questions if there anyone would like to ask some. Carlos? Yeah.
I have a question about your house with the division where you play with the gap. Oh, sorry. Yes, I have a question about your house where you use the gap with the large silver door, especially about the section and the kind of relationship between the windows you have on the interior of this kind of courtyard. Because if I remember correctly, you had the toilet window which looks into the bedroom, and that the spaces, the kind of program of the spaces was defined by the visual relationship between them.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
you are saying about these windows, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Especially the top floor.
Top, you mean this?
Yeah. So for me, it looks like from washing your hands, you can see into the bedroom, and
Yeah. From this dining kitchen, you can see through this 1, 2, 3 window, and the view, right? So this is 2 building, but it's one private house. So somehow with combination of various hall or window, I played with various view in opposite side of neighbor's building, let's say. So this is one of the point in this project.
So do most of your iterations deal with the visual relationships between the volumes?
About these windows, yes.
Yeah.
Also, you can see things additions. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot.
Sorry. Thanks for your amazing lecture. And that gazebo project in Shanghai and the 4 meter by 4 meter reminds me of the other project which you didn't show, Nippon Design project. And I was lucky enough to hear the explanation about the several design intention of your, like, while you're designing the Nippon Design Center, like manipulating the floor height. And what was really interesting was the giant table that you designed in the office. And so I have been always curious about the design intention and design process of that giant table in the middle of the office in Nippon Design Center.
Maybe it's I haven't showed that project, so it's a bit difficult to explain every process of that project. But the point of that huge table in of that office is I need to tell I made an interior design of the design office in Japan. It's one of the most biggest office in design office in Japan. Kenya Hara, he's a very famous graphic designer, his office. And the reason of the round table, I think, this is a kind of it's happened in a discussion with Kenya Hara. And at first we just made just a layout of a normal table and chairs. But one day I proposed and he accepted in the reality. We need to have a sort of a multi-purpose space. So actually, I'm happy to see it in every month. I proposed to make, I forgot the size, 6 meter diameter. It's a round table, and features 22 chair. And every month they organize an exhibition in the middle of the table because they cannot use in the middle part. But they choose one or two staff, and they exhibit his favorite books because it's in a library. So it's a kind of a combination of gallery or museum and the desk. So it is a kind of for the flexibility in that place.
Thank you.
Tony.
Well, God, you seem to manage to, what you do, you manage to be both provocative in daily life, but also to make spaces that are very habitable. So my question is much more technical as one architect to another. So the staircase in the gap between it, is that in the outside temperature or is it heated? You know, the space divided?
This
That's
one?
Yeah, is the staircase, does it have a roof over it?
Mm-hmm.
And is it heated, that space, or is it?
Yeah, but because of I worried about the condition of this space,
Yes.
but maybe because of a lot of hole, because there is no door, no window here, so always air is coming in and out. So it's not really tough in a summer or in a winter.
What, do you have warm winters and not much rain, or what's the winter condition?
Air condition.
What's the weather like in the winter in where that house is? Is it rainy or cold or?
冬の気候は、maybe it's yes, it's maybe it's a bit cold. but I think this is not.
This wasn't my intention to embarrass you, but it was a fascination. But again, how do you heat the rooms? Are they?
Yes, but I said here there's a hidden sliding window. So and each space has an air conditioner. So actually they can also close in winter and summer.
Okay. So you have an air conditioning unit that heats and cools.
In each.
And how about lighting? How do you do that?
Lighting.
Yeah, in the night time, how do you light the room?
There's some light here.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Inside the rooms, how do you light them?
This kind of light on the wall.
Okay, good. I'm informed by what you say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony.
Maybe just one more question. Yeah.
Hi, thank you very much. Really enjoyable lecture.
Thank you.
And informative. But I was wondering if you might talk about just a little bit about the whiteness in the concrete buildings, because you talk about materials, your attention to materials, so what about the whiteness?
But this building?
I guess I see it in the concrete buildings.
Nerima apartment as well. For me, white is, actually this is not white. It's white. As you see carefully, I always use different types of white. In outside, I made really rough concrete in outside wall, and I painted white. And here, she's a researcher of anthropology. So every year she made a trip to make a research in all over the world, and that's why she had a mask or a tapestry and so on. So this is an exhibition space for her. So this is really smooth. We polished this wall paint it white. Inside, it's no gloss white wall because for the space for life. So, for me, it's really important to have a subtle difference in each environment. For example, in this case. あんま OK そうじゃないけど。
Yeah, I think you might be able to come in the bar.
Sorry?
この後上でもバーとかいます？
あ、います。
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he will be for the drink in the bar. So any further question, we can move on to there. But I thought it's something really wonderful about the work. I think very encouraging. But I think it goes many different ways. One way maybe we can compare his work to Kazuo Shinohara, where also he studied. But in fact, I can't help comparing. Because Shinohara's work, when you see very serious people modeling in his building, and it's quite serious, then I think Go Hasegawa's, you see it in the building, people are very happy and smiling. And also that's what we see in the audience when you see talk about the work. There's something really playful. But at the same time, when you see, look at all those detail, consideration, proportion, it's actually something really parallel to Shinohara's work somehow. So I thought that's really, really wonderful, I think. And something really, some city like Tokyo or Asian city is actually reflected by his design somehow. So, yeah. So I thought it's really wonderful anyway. But I shouldn't be making some little comment like that somehow. So yeah, thank you very much for spending really busy time today. And